From Mamma Mia, welcome to the Spills Watch Party, where we unpack the biggest shows that everybody is talking about. My name's Courtney Amenhauser. I'm an executive producer here at Mamma Mia.
I'm Ksenija Lukic, host of Mamma Mia's entertainment podcast, The Spill.
And I'm Tina Burke, Mamma Mia's pop culture and social editor.
And we've made it. We're at the finale. We're diving deep, one whole episode to unpack what went down in the season finale of season 2 of Nobody Wants This. There will be spoilers. If you haven't listened to our other podcast episodes, head back into the Watch Party feed and go and take a listen. But shall we get into it?
What a finale.
Wowee.
We finish up with all three couples breaking up.
Huge scenes happening, and it's all set in the one location. But what I want to start with is something that's explored throughout the whole of season 2, which is the sunk cost fallacy.
This is so good, God.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you guys are familiar with the sunk cost fallacy?
Yes,
I
but I think
am
you're going to
now.
have to explain it to everyone, obviously.
Okay, if you aren't aware of what it is, basically it's when someone chooses to do something because they have invested unrecoverable resources into it. So think about maybe you're halfway through a book, you're not really enjoying it, but you're like, I've come this far.
Yeah.
But that can go to much larger scales, such as staying in a relationship because you've already sunk 5 months, 5 years, and you think, I've already come this far. Now, we see that across the 3 big relationships that this season's exploring. Tina, what do you think about the sunk cost fallacy? Do you think it's actually better to cut your losses and move forward, or do you think there's some merit in it?
I mean, it's quite a question. And I mean, in a bookcase, I guess, in the smallest of examples, I'll finish a book even if I hate it just because I started it. I didn't come this far just to come this far.
Really, I would abandon.
I need to see it through. And
Aquarius.
but like with a relationship, I guess, very, very different. And we were talking about this before, but like one of the things I think of all of the time regarding this, which is essentially just another way of talking about the sunk cost fallacy, is like this comedian Daniel Sloss. He's got a Netflix special, so also Netflix Family. For anyone who wants to check it out, it's called Jigsaw. And he has this whole special where he talks about like relationships as like what he used to think was that it was like putting together a puzzle. And he was like, you're trying to put different parts of like your lives together, but you have different ideas of what the end puzzle is supposed to be. And then sometimes it's been 5 years and you realize suddenly you're working towards a very different image.
Yeah.
And the quote that he says is like, you have a very difficult question to ask yourself. 1, do I admit that the last 5 years of my life has been a waste? 2, do I waste the rest of my life?
Oh,
Deep.
Oofs.
Heavy.
And I think
it's a bit
about
heavy for a comedian,
it's a
isn't
bit
it?
heavy. His specials do that. But I think about it all the time, maybe in terms of like the combos you have with girlfriends about the relationships they're in, where it's like, we've been together 7 years. And like, yes, it's so important to think about that. And I guess in Esther's case, specifically more than the other 2 this season, she has been with Sasha for so long, and she's
15
thinking of
years.
it in that way of like, we've got a kid, we have a home, we're married, we've been together for 15 years. Like, is it throwing it all away? And will I be happy if I throw it all away? That's a really big question to ask yourself, but I guess they're looking at it differently. Sasha's looking at it from the perspective of like, we've come this far, we may as well keep it going. And Esther's the opposite, going, well, we've come this far and I'm not happy, so like, I guess it's time to call it. Like, they've got very different views on the sunk cost fallacy. And I think for me, it's like, oh, I don't know. I would probably also be in Esther's position if I was with Sasha.
It's a very female thing to do. And without being too stereotypical, when we look at divorces, 70% of divorces are initiated by women. And I can understand why. In a heterosexual relationship between a man and a woman, women are more likely to initiate the divorce because women are probably thinking about the relationship more. We are mentally, doing a number of steps ahead. And I think Esther is in that position. For me, I would say that married women who are watching this show or women who have children will probably most likely relate to Esther and the way she's feeling. I do think that she is at this point in her life where she just needs to make the decision.
Yeah.
And there is something about, it was when Joanne said to her, what's going on here, when she cut her bangs, that was like a switch flipped. And she said, it's time. And she finally makes that decision.
Yeah. And it's a very hard decision to make, arguably one of the hardest decisions you would ever make if you were in that position, right? Like
to give up 15 years.
To give up on 15 years. And it's not giving up. That's bad language from me.
So true. And me.
But like, you know, that's how it's seen, right? So that's the question she's asking herself. Do I admit, because it's not a waste. The Daniel Sloss thing is like quite a quote. Because I'm not saying you've wasted your life or your time by being with someone.
I'm also a firm believer in the idea of nothing is a waste of time. I mean, you're going to learn something from every situation that you're in.
Yeah.
You know, this isn't a wasted 15 years for Esther. This is a beautiful time. It was a time in her life. It's not a failed relationship. It's just time for the next step for her. And I do hope they get back together. But I do want to talk a little bit about, like, what do you think the turning point was for all these couples when it comes to leaving their relationships? What was their, like, aha moment?
I mean, it's also different, right? Because these are 3 very different relationships and timelines. For Morgan, it's kind of like, I guess, easier to pull the plug, but also harder because she's admitting to everyone what they've all said is true. The others, the relationships, the issues that they're facing, like really serious, like long-term things. For Morgan, it's like everyone's like, you rushed into this and that was dumb. And so she has to recognize either I agree with everyone and I did something silly, whoopsie daisies, I don't want to marry this man. Or she has to go, you know what, I'm going to marry him anyway. And I think she's known all along. So I don't know that there was a light bulb moment for her. I think possibly the like whole, wow, he has a pattern thing that we discussed last episode of like he just dates his clients and he's weird and awful. And that card game was a bit of a moment for her, the card game from hell. But maybe for Morgan, she kind of always knew.
I think so too.
She definitely did.
I think she always knew, but then when she was actually at the engagement party and looked around the room and went, oh God.
And I loved that delivery from her at the engagement party. Like the first thing we see from her is like, hey, by the way, sis, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
I'm out. Get me out of here. Like she was so sure suddenly. So like, yeah, maybe just the engagement party.
I think so. And just the reality of it all sinking in and going, well, I feel like she would have looked around the room and gone, I barely know these people. Like, yeah, she's spoken to this man as her therapist for 2 years, but she doesn't know his friends.
Yeah.
This is where we get our Morgan back.
I know.
We get our Morgan back. We get our strong, powerful. She's found, I don't want to say she's found herself. That sounds so cheesy, but she has.
She's regaining consciousness, I
think. She's got her confidence back. And this was the best relationship for her to get out of.
Oh, I agree.
We are very happy about this one. Morgan and Dr. Andy, see you later, Dr. Andy.
Yeah, I really disliked that relationship, but I thought it was really funny when she was talking to Joanne about it. And Joanne's like, is this a trap?
Yeah. Yes. So sisterly to be like, I am willing to talk shit about this man. However, you need to confirm to me that you are not trapping me here and I'm going to say bad things and they're going to haunt me later.
Yes.
Like, loved that. But also love that, like, immediately she goes, okay, well, he yelled at a waiter one time, or like he said that someone stepped on my loafers. He texted mum something weird at night. And it's like, okay, we're not going to address the therapy of it all.
Yeah.
Morgan does. But I'm like, I love that you've got 50 petty things ready to go because she knows her sister so well.
But Sasha's response to Esther, so Sasha and Morgan talking after Esther leaves.
Oh, it was devastating. Yeah.
You think I'm going to wait around for her? Because I will.
Yeah.
Oh. His face.
He is the leading man now. It's not Noah anymore.
But his face when Esther pulls the pin, I was like, whoa. I actually feel sad for him, even though before I was like, get it together, mate. Pick your own shirt.
Yeah. And I think that comes back to your whole like thing about the fallacy is like he didn't see it that way. He saw it so differently to her. He was like, well, we've done this much. We're going to keep doing it. And he says it to Noah. He's like, oh, like I'll just take the pressure off. I'll give her space. Like it's fine. This is going to be fine. And like, so he wasn't expecting it. So it was really upsetting. Yeah. When do you think Esther knew, like you're saying, like when you know, when did she know she was going to do it? Because it seems weird to do it at a party.
The moment of her at dinner with Rebecca.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That is when her brain is ticking and going, oh, it's time. It's sort of being peppered throughout. Peppered throughout the season, but I would say there's a number of moments for her.
Yeah.
But that moment in particular. And then at the engagement party, it's, she decides that it's finally time to be finished.
Yeah.
And, Sasha, the fact that he says he's going to wait for her is really lovely. And, I definitely think that he is just our new leading man. But let's talk about the Noah and Joanne.
Yes, our central storyline.
Yeah.
When do you think the moment was for Noah and Joanne, or when Noah realised?
Well, it wasn't, because they got back together kind of at the end.
But let's rewind a little bit.
So I got very upset about that.
I know. It was a bit of like a whiplash.
Yes,
definitely. I was like, wait a second, what's going on? Like everyone was breaking up and I was freaking out. I'm like, wait, isn't this a where's the rom in this com?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was concerned. I was like, is this an unhappy ending for everyone? But yeah, what was the moment for you, Ksenija, where you saw Noah go, wait, I need to make a decision here?
He's been trying to make that decision again the whole season. He's been battling with himself, and he has become a little bit whiny to me. I'm sorry, that sounds terrible, but he has been a bit hard to cop this season.
Yeah. And I mean, we're going to talk about this in a little bit anyway, but I think because of the cyclical nature of the season, and like we will get to that. Obviously, we've seen a lot of these conversations before, and then this season was just like one long anxious walk towards a breakup. Like the whole time we're never addressing anything. Oh, this annoying thing has come up again where we realize we're incompatible. Let's table it. Let's not discuss it. I love you anyway. Me too. And it just keeps going all season long. So it was like this slow moment. For me, it's like Joanne's had that big revelation on the couch the night before of going like, it shouldn't be this hard. We should be able to be ourselves and we should be able to be happy. For Noah, I think he's sat with that. And then he has this conversation with Sasha, and Sasha just like triggers him in his brain.
He
with
says
the whole
the
like
same
20
thing.
years down the line.
He says things shouldn't be this hard.
Yeah.
And then the dramatic music plays and there's like the slow-mo on his face and then he walks away.
Yeah. And then his brother is like, oh, like, yeah, do you ever think it shouldn't be this hard? She's like, and I don't want her to wake up 20 years down the line and resent me. And Sasha like says this to Noah, and then Noah kind of goes and verbatim just says it to Joanne, and he interrupts a conversation. So I think for him, he is very much someone who's like, this has happened in my head now. I need to act on it right now. We're breaking up. Here you go, at your sister's engagement party. Weird as hell, but I guess he couldn't just hold it in anymore. It's been bubbling away for them.
Yeah, and I think that's it. It was just the final straw. Something I wanted to ask you both about the breakups, especially with the Esther Sasha and the Morgan Dr. Andy. Do you think those breakups were earned on screen? Do you think there was enough time of those relationships being explored?
I mean, I don't.
Tell me about that.
I really do. I mean, it makes me sad, but I really love this storyline for Esther and Sasha, and also like I guess for Morgan, I think this was so important, and we'll explore more in season 3, but I don't think that with 21-minute episodes for a lot of these episodes and 10 episodes in a season, and our central storyline of Joanne and Noah needing so much time, and honestly still not getting enough either, this show either needed 40-minute episodes or just a longer runtime. A 21-minute episode is a sitcom runtime. It is not the time to get into depth of why a 15-year marriage isn't working and why it's breaking up. We saw her reasons, but like I really am loving these characters. I wanted more. I wanted to see the inner workings of Esther and what's going on with her in a day and why she feels this way. I get it because they gave us those really obvious scenes where they went, she's mad because he doesn't know how to dress himself. So her whole thing is she feels like she mothers him. She's mad because no one sees her as fun. Like they just told us it instead of showing us. And I would have liked to have been shown more of what was going on. I wanted more depth because they're fun-loving characters and you care about them. You want to see more.
I agree with you 100%. I think with the time that they had,
still good.
They did a really wonderful job of exploring such a complex relationship dynamic and situation.
Yeah.
They got the idea. It was there. It just wasn't fleshed out enough for you. You wanted more
I wanted more drama
detail.
and juice.
Give me the more juice.
Yeah.
With some peppered comedy.
With fun and light too as well. But yeah, like if we care about these people, I want to see them more.
Yes, it's a lot of ground to cover in 21 minutes.
Yeah. It's the stress of a Netflix series often comes in where they're worried about being cancelled. Like, and I guess all streaming services nowadays, people are like, they've got to get every idea out there so that they can get renewed. Like it's a hard thing. And you would think this is a sure thing for renewal, but they're not always. So I think they're just like, here's everything. Let us do another one.
They're leaving it open-ended to finish here or potentially go into a new season. Yeah. Okay, so in this finale, we see a lot of parallels that we saw in the finale of season 1. It's all set at a party. It's all set in the same place. There's a lot of drama happening. Did you see any other parallels, Ksenija?
When a show does an episode all in one location on one day and it kind of plays out in real time, I get really frustrated.
I love it. Interesting. What frustrates you?
Yeah.
I think I'm really impatient and I just want it to move. But I did actually like this, and I like how it all takes place in this one place, the same way that it all took place in a bat mitzvah in the end of season 1.
Yeah.
I understand why they've done that. It's a really nice little throwback. They did it with the dinner party, first episode. But it's a nice thing. I just can sometimes get a little impatient.
Yeah. Like you're like, I want to.
You want to see the next day?
Yeah, I want to see. You know those disaster movies that all take place in real time?
Oh, you would hate that.
And everything happens and it all happens overnight. It like gives me anxiety.
I love it.
Did you ever watch the show 24?
No, I couldn't. It's giving
or like
me
the
hives.
pit, that would frustrate. Although maybe lots happens in that, so it's okay. But I guess I get where you're coming from. If you're like, it's moving too slow. What's
Do you
next?
have a similar feeling?
I really love it. Like I really enjoyed it. And I really enjoyed all of, I guess, the mirroring to, like you said, the bar mitzvah. So like, I guess where we came from at the end of season 1 with the bar mitzvah was like, all the relationships are hanging in the balance, right? We had Noah and Joanne. What will happen with them? Like, this is the culmination of like all of these conversations they're having around like converting to Judaism and like where the relationship could go. The Rebecca of it all was very prevalent. Like the relationship between Morgan and Joanne had been a bit tense and they were good again. Like Sasha and Esther were in a weird place as a result of like just, I guess, Esther being quite harsh about the bat mitzvah, and she came around quite a bit. So there were a lot of parallels then to the fact that we're in this kind of same place now at the end of season 2, but it's much more dramatic and like everyone's personal stakes are like way, way, way higher.
But that frustrates you, right? The fact that we're back in the same place that we were at the end of season 1.
It did feel like a whole season exploring the same
things. And I think that really shows in this episode because like I like that it's similar and that we're doing similar things, and I love that it's all in one place. But what do you mean I just watched 9 episodes and we're having the same conversation that you had last time, which does show, and I guess was the whole point that Erin Foster wanted to get across this season, is like season 1 ends with like a romantic gesture, and those are great in rom-coms, but like then what? You're still you and you still have these problems, and that's been this whole season. So like loved and hated, I guess.
I know, yeah. I felt similarly. I felt a bit frustrated. I wanted it to go further, but I guess the main thing that did change is Joanne's approach or Joanne's position on whether or not she would convert.
There's definitely been growth for all the characters. Noah has definitely grown maybe into something that we are not as fond of as we were in season 1. Although Erin Foster does say she wanted to show more flaws in Noah this season.
Important.
It was important for her to take away the hot rabbi trope and really dig a little bit deeper and show some of his flaws.
Yeah.
So I think they have definitely done that with Noah as a character. The reason that they've done this is because we want a season 3, right?
Yeah.
They are setting it up.
Yeah. You got to have like your third act tension, which I guess the season 2 will kind of turn out to be, is the will they, won't they? What's going to happen? But I agree with what you guys have said, because Joanne, for me, has grown quite a lot this season. She had all of this anxiety about their relationship in season 1, like when she wouldn't look through his cabinets and she was like, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And then this time around, while she still has it, I do think that they've gotten to this big fight and she's willing to go. My favorite line is, how old do you think I am?
Don't answer that.
When he goes, we'll give it 6 months, no pressure. She's like, I'm done having this fight. Have this conversation with me. And she does say that to him. She goes, he's, I don't know how we get through this. She's like, have the conversation. Say what you need to say. And then when they do have it and she gets a bit tense and a bit weird, he's like, go for a walk, cool off. But I do think she's more willing to come out and go, I am not sure. I love you a lot. What are we doing? And I'm not happy. And don't we both deserve to be happy? And she's still shocked when he comes over and just randomly dumps her at the party, because she goes, wait, are we breaking up? And he walks away. But I think she really advocated for herself a lot more. And that was good to see, because we did see the growth in her.
None of these men like confrontation.
They're not good at it.
These women are so much stronger and more powerful and ready to drive relationships forward. All of the women in this show are powerhouses.
Well, it's interesting as well when Joanne says, wait, we're breaking up here, because the whole season we've seen him go, you can't just give up on things.
Exactly.
And then it flips.
And it does flip.
That's such a good point.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so much of this has just been this recycled stupid conversation of like, no, we'll be fine. We'll have the convo when we need to. And now we need to. And his response is, I'm going to break up, I guess. And it's nice to see him finally being honest, but it is real. You can imagine how frustrating it would be if you were in this situation and he's been saying, we'll work it out. I love you anyway. Last season, you tried to avoid this exact situation by breaking up with me, so I didn't have to make this choice about my faith and being a rabbi and being with someone who isn't of the same faith as me. And I told you it was fine. And surprise, it's not fine, and now we're breaking up. That's really shitty from him, and I get why people have the ick, because I have the ick a little bit.
Yeah, I found their relationship less interesting than the other ones this season.
So much less interesting. But isn't that actually quite nice?
Yes,
Isn't that quite nice to see in a rom-com scenario where, you know, we are so focused on two characters in the first season and often it centers around them, you know, the main character energy.
Yeah.
But it's really lovely to see a more of an ensemble cast and dive deeper into relationships in different stages.
Yeah.
And explore that more. That to me is what made this season more refreshing and not as samey as the previous season.
Yes.
Do you know what I understand your disappointment in the fact that we're kind of back where we started.
Yeah.
We have gone somewhere.
We've taken journeys. We've taken steps.
journeys. We've got
things have happened.
But it's with other relationships.
Yeah, I think
Joanne and Noah are in the same place, but our other relationships, I think our other characters have grown.
Yeah, I think that's the redemption.
Doing a lot of very large
it's important to talk with your hands
today.
when you have feelings.
That's what I was.
I'm like this.
You're like a ballerina doing some pas de bras over there.
Sorry.
I think even though Noah and Joanne's relationship feels like it's a bit in the same place. I agree with you, Ksenija. The other storylines that they've explored are the redemption.
So much. Yeah, absolutely. And they're so well written. It doesn't always happen with a side character in a short kind of sitcom-y show that's like very rom-com-y, right? You're always like character relief in rom-coms. The little side characters get a moment. Feels like we're really going somewhere special, which we can talk about later for what we think will happen with season 3. But they're really well written. The dialogue's really fun.
Especially with Sasha. Last season we saw him as comic relief. He was a bit of, you know, the clown on the side. And now he's shown a lot of depth and is going through a lot. Something else I want to talk about is the scene between Joanne and Esther when she's talking about feeling Jewish. How did that sit with you? It felt a little rushed to me.
You know, I sat down with the cast and creators of Nobody Wants This for this podcast, and Erin Foster said to me the reason that she made Joanne's mother convert so quickly is that there are different ways and paths to exploring Judaism. And she said, you know, Joanne's mother feels it straight away, but Joanne needs more time. Joanne is exploring it. And her reflection was there's no right way to finding Judaism. And I wanted to show both of those sides. And I thought that was a very interesting concept. And Esther asking Joanne, does she feel Jewish, is part of that journey.
I think, like you said, really interesting that they've shown different avenues and like what people feel. I guess for me, I can see what Joanne's whole thing has been, what I understood it to be anyway, and what maybe a lot of people understood it to be, is that Joanne was waiting for a connection that was like to God or to the religious faith and to like feeling that feeling. But then Esther's kind of explained to her that, no, there's like all of the cultural elements and all of the things that you're really enjoying and all of the parts of like who you are as a person and who you're becoming and the stuff that you love, that's being Jewish. And so that's like, I guess, a different explanation to her than what she expected to feel. I guess
I think
it felt a bit simple maybe for a TV show explanation, but I'm also not in this position, right? Like,
totally, yeah.
You know, I can't
either.
relate. And Erin Foster has been through it. And if that was the moment for her that made her go, actually, I thought I had to feel all these things and
have a spiritual
awakening, but actually I'm having that with the relationships and the things that I'm doing and all of that. And I do feel Jewish. Like, I guess that was her moment. And like, it's nice to know that she felt like someone would guide her to where she needed to get to.
I don't want to make assumptions here, but my view of it is that Judaism and being Jewish, quote unquote, is so tied in with religion and culture. They are intertwined. There is the religious part of that. And even if I know many of my Jewish friends who aren't particularly religious, but culturally very Jewish. They want to have, you know, Shabbat. They want to be around their families for Hanukkah. They want to, you know, light a menorah. And that all is really culturally very important to them, even if there isn't necessarily a connection with God.
Yeah. And I guess that's what Esther's explaining to her, right? Like that she thought she had to feel a specific type of way to feel like she could convert, and she kept waiting and waiting. And then Esther's like, well, no, you're here. You've arrived at the thing that you think you're meant to feel. And I guess that's explained it for her. What did you think?
Yeah, I agree with you, Tina. And I mean, I feel like we're all echoing the same sentiment where Joanne was taking it really seriously, felt like, which I think obviously
very important.
It's a big decision, and Joanne was not taking it lightly. But having this conversation with Esther allowed her to think about it in a different way and connect perhaps in the way that you're describing some of your friends connection to Judaism, Ksenija, of the cultural element and the traditions and the rituals that they do, rather than this big spiritual awakening that I think she was waiting for.
Yeah. Which is, as well, like, I kind of connected with the part of her, same as I did with Charlotte in Sex and the City, and I'm sure many people do, where at first she was like, well, I'll just do it. It means nothing to me, so why not? And then she went, no, actually it should mean something to me. And she maybe just had an idea of what it should mean. And then Esther's been like, no, actually this is what it should mean to you, or can mean to you. And she goes, oh, great, I'm going to convert then. So that's kind of where we've ended, even though they've broken up. And I mean, I guess that's the big difference between the 2 season finales, because they feel really similar. And I know I've said that it frustrates me that we're in a similar place, but I think what frustrated me was him, not Joanne.
Yes.
He breaks up.
This is like a Noah bashing
Noah's
party.
problem.
Sorry, Noah.
Sorry, Adam Brody, but we are bashing him
And
today.
I love you dearly, Noah, but this is my reasoning. He breaks up with her at her sister's engagement party. Valid reasons, understood. He goes away. He plays a montage in his mind of what he thinks is special and great about their love story, same as fucking last time. And then he runs back and he goes, where's my girl? And at least this time we get a full proper rom-com montage. We're in the lifts. We miss each other.
I love that lift.
That
was
songs
so
playing.
good.
Magic.
There's running.
There's people are running.
Empty hallways.
Last time they were walking and they were sad. And this time they're running.
And it's at the lights. It's at the
it's
LA,
at the LA lights.
Those LA lights. The
and lovely
lampposts.
montage.
And that is also mirroring the final scene last season with the bus.
But we were sad
The
and we were
reveal.
walking, and now we're running and we're excited and we're missing each other and so lovely montage. No qualms with the montage. My qualm is he comes back and he goes like,
We'll work it out later.
well, I love you anyway. Everything's fine. It's not. You just showed me a whole season that proved to me why it's not fine. And you've come back and you've told her, just kidding, love you, fix it anyway. And she's here to fix it because she's like, do you know what? Actually, I'm ready to convert.
I can do it. And the only reason that he changed his mind is because he went for a little walk and had to think about their memories.
Exactly. He had a mind memory montage like Conrad from The Summer I Turned Pretty, and he was like, I've solved it. Love will conquer all. And famously, you've just told me that love doesn't conquer all. So Noah is in the bin a little bit for me.
Yeah, me too.
Despite his running, good for you. She's my winner in this scenario.
Despite all of our feelings and criticisms about this season, I think it's pretty clear we'd still love a third if possible. Ksenija actually spoke to the creator, Erin Foster, and this is what she had to say about the potential for another season.
We're not dumb. We know how to make Netflix keep bringing us back.
Exactly.
So we wanted to make it feel, anticipatory of what comes next so that we can keep having jobs.
So even though it's not confirmed, I think it's pretty clear that we're probably going to get one, given the popularity of season 1 and the anticipation around season 2. And it's interesting that Erin talks about it being anticipatory because we are left with a lot of questions regarding these 3 couples. Should we go through them one by one?
Yes, let's start with Noah and Joanne. Tina, what do you want to see between these two? We've been on a journey. It's felt a little bit, I don't know, rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
Bit of whiplash at the end there. What do you want next season?
I would like to see them just maybe getting back to being a healthier couple who doesn't have the weight of this thing hanging over them, right?
Being conversion.
Yes. So Joanne has we've seen her have a realization. She's kind of communicated that to him in the one little moment we saw where she said like, all good, like I'm going to do it. I want her obviously to like have this journey and to like feel the things she wants to feel and to like feel confident in her decision. But I just want to see them have like maybe a bit of a happier, healthier love, and we can focus on the others for maybe a bit of the drama. Because season 1 was so romantic and season 2 had its moments, but there was so much stress and anxiety. Like I just want them to get like move in together. She goes through her like stuff. I'm sure Bina's going to have a million. I want that dynamic.
Oh my God, I want to see more of Bina.
I want to see Bina hating her. I
Bina's
want to
gonna
see
be
her
big.
doing all the things she needs to do in Temple. I think it's like they said a year-long course in one of the earlier
I
episodes.
think she'll do the 6 months.
Yeah. She's going to do the speedy one.
She'll do the
she's
speedy
like a
one at
mum.
Temple or Harbour. But like I want to see her go through all of that. I think it's going to be really interesting and like so, I guess, informative and interesting, and also just for them to be a bit happier and calmer.
If it was to mirror the last 2 seasons, do we see a wedding or an engagement for them at the end?
What I would love to see, again, echoing what you've said, I would love to see a scene where Bina is teaching Joanne how to make challah in the kitchen, and she's going, don't do that. Like screaming at her because Bina's such a queen.
Yeah.
And you know she wouldn't suffer fools in the kitchen. So seeing her, around some more of these traditional Jewish customs would be really, really interesting. And I think so funny.
Yeah.
And I also want to see Noah like grow some balls.
I want him to stop being a simp.
Yeah. Like grow up, man. Like just figure out what you want. Stop beating around the bush.
Yeah.
Stop being so nice to everybody because you think you have to be nice.
Yeah, if you don't like your job, go get another one.
Yeah, like just suck it up.
He needs a bit of his own life, hey?
Yeah.
In the new season. We need him to get a new job of some description. Don't care what it is, but like just get employed, please. I don't want to see an ounce of relationship insecurity, which is not realistic, but I don't want to see it. We've come to this point. Great. Now we have our fun. Now we have our like real life, real romance settling into learning what that looks like.
There are so many places it could go though with that process.
Yeah.
And so many funny moments. I mean, I should be in the writer's room for God's sake.
Yeah.
So many funny moments and quirks and great things that could happen from a healthy relationship of someone who is going through this process. I agree.
It can be interesting without being scary.
Sasha and Esther can give us
they
our
can give
drama.
us that. Yeah.
Okay, let's get into Sasha and Esther because I have some things I want to see.
What do you feel?
Yeah.
I want to see Esther go on a surf trip with Rebecca and have a fling with the surf instructor and then regret everything. No, I don't want her to regret everything, but I want her to have a fling with someone else and to see what that feels like.
There is definitely something in that. Sasha, to me, is really our leading man this season. It is so beautiful to see Timothy Simons in a more dramatic role. He's an excellent, excellent actor. He has so many places to go. He clearly loves Esther. Sasha is infatuated with Esther. So potentially this next season could be a process of him allowing her to find herself a little bit, giving her that space and leaving his wings open to, welcome her back in. And, maybe we could see a little bit more of that Sasha Morgan friendship and relationship grow. Timothy did actually talk about that Sasha Morgan relationship and I think it's great. So let's have a little listen to that.
Oh, I think that there is something interesting in that. Yeah, like it definitely occupies a weird space and a somewhat undefined one for a lot of people. And I think it's also just weird and undefined for them, but there's clearly an attraction between the two people, and whether or not that means that they are romantic or just friends, it's clear that they have similar ways of thinking about the world, similar ways of thinking about life. And so clearly they are attracted to spending time with one another.
It's a very complex relationship between the two of them, not something that we traditionally see in a rom-com setting. This would be the enemies to lovers trope that we so often see in a rom-com.
Yeah. And I do like that they shut it down. So we spoke about it before. I think you were saying how sad and beautiful the line was, but like Sasha kind of saying, if she thinks I'm going to sit around and wait for her, well, she's correct. Like I will sit here and wait. And I think him saying that to Morgan makes it very clear from Erin Foster and the team, we are not exploring these two as an avenue. But what I would love to see is
go on.
like she's now single. We know we'll talk about her in a minute, but he's now single as well. I would like to see him grow up. I'd like to see him become the man he has to be with Esther, like to take on board. And I know I've said on the last episode, I feel so sorry for him that everyone's been ignoring him. And he's like, guys, I just love you all and I want to be paid attention to. But I think he clearly has things that he needs to work on to be worthy of Esther. And I'd like to see maybe Morgan help him with that. I'd like to see them help each other as friends, figure out who they are as single people and become someone who, is able to be a dependable partner for Esther. And maybe then they get back together. That's my dream.
In long-term marriages, men are often seen as being, settling and just getting too comfortable. And maybe this is his wake-up call. Maybe he just needs a little kick up the tushy to do the right thing. I don't want to stereotype men here, but there's a reason stereotypes are stereotypes.
Yeah, I think it's a really good opportunity for them to, as you were saying, Tina, have this growth, step up.
Yeah,
if they're going to do this properly with this breakup, I assume their living arrangements will change.
Yeah.
Will they do the nesting thing? The child stays in the house and they're swapping in and out. Maybe that sees Sasha staying at Noah and potentially Joanne's place.
Yeah, that could be a fun
that
dynamic.
Could add some
that's fun.
tension.
Yeah.
Maybe she's like, Esther's staying with Rebecca a few nights a week, and then they're having their like single gal time.
And she needs her single girl time.
Depression and walking around like in his boxes, just eating cereal out of a box.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, and Joanne walks in on him masturbating in the bathroom or something. Like, it'd be so funny.
Then maybe there's some kind
Esther's
of
having fun.
Esther's having fun. Maybe there's some kind of reconciliation towards the end, and then Esther goes to his. Does he do jujitsu?
She goes to his jujitsu.
Oh, she goes to his
Love, that would be nice.
And
he sees her across the room.
him.
They lock eyes.
And I'm sure she'll have
together.
a single girl period, or like a friendship time with Rebecca where she's really, really having fun. And then she will have I guess the obvious reckoning you'd have with yourself if you left a relationship of that long. Is this right or is this wrong? And we don't know which way she's going to lean. Maybe it'll be right. Maybe it'll be wrong that they're split up. But I think we all secretly hope that she'll get to that point and go, I do miss him and I do love him at my core. And then maybe she comes back and look, everything's not fixed. It's real life. But maybe he's stepped up, or he's learned to be a better father, or he's learned to be more present.
But rom-coms, even though we're talking about the realism of love in this particular series, it's still a
don't-
rom-com.
it's still a rom-com.
We still want to see a resolution.
Yes.
We are designed to see resolutions in television.
Give it to me,
There's
damn it.
nothing worse than a TV show that ends on a cliffhanger and not getting that resolution. It makes me feel sick.
Yeah.
And we want to see the romance. We want to see a happy ending.
Yeah. We want this. We want this for them.
Okay.
But nobody wants this.
I do. Please.
Let's talk more about Morgan. So she has ended her relationship with Dr. Andy. Where do we want to see her go? Ksenija?
You know what? I'd love to see her in a relationship where she actually likes the guy and it isn't a result of her trying to compete with her sister or, fill a hole that's been left by her sister, This relationship with Dr. Andy wasn't realistic. It wasn't real. And, I just want to see her be able to have someone who can match her energy.
And she always has her guard up, even like she's always being a jokester.
Yeah.
It's her defense.
Yeah, it's important to make jokes and never address your emotions.
Is that relatable to
hard relate to Morgan. But I agree. I think what she needs now is she had that little moment, which we've discussed at the very start of the season, where the basketball friend kind of poked that little hole in her armor and she just put her defenses up and had a horrible relationship for a whole season. We need to see her actually confront the things that she's scared to confront about herself. And it can be funny and it can be fun. I'm sure they'll make it amazing. And she's an amazing actress.
Yeah, Justine's fantastic.
So it'll be so fun to kind of see someone go through that. But I think it would be a really interesting dynamic for them to explore being a single woman of a certain age that we are.
She also
all.
doesn't have to get into a relationship.
No, but it'd still be nice to see her address the things about herself that she didn't want to address and that she kind of threw aside and just dated a therapist so that she didn't have to deal with it. She's got to deal with it now, unfortunately.
It would be far too cliche if she was
suddenly happy and
in
brilliant
love with herself.
Maybe she has a bisexual moment.
Oh, I love that.
I was going to say maybe she joins Rebecca and Esther on their surf trip.
Single trip.
Or at least in some kind of like single
Esther
gals
and
night
Morgan
out.
could definitely be like,
Their vibe is fun, even
Yeah.
if they pretend they hate each other. And honestly, in season 1, when Rebecca kind of duped Morgan and pretended, like that was fun too. I just think they could have a good girls trip.
Agree.
Morgan and Bina also need more scenes together.
Yes.
That was phenomenal.
That'll be fun. I wonder if Morgan will like just come along to all of the classes. And then she's like outshining Joanne and Bina loves her. She's the favorite. Maybe it's her time to shine.
Something we didn't see much of this season, which could be explored more next season, is the podcast.
Yeah,
It
how's
really
that
took a
going?
back seat.
How's that going?
How's that going for the gals?
It's not going well. Like
Maybe-
they kind of cancelled it and now they're friends again and we haven't seen again. We need, you know what, maybe it's Morgan's career takes off.
It was such a storytelling device for them. That was their way of, it was a very clever way of them, recapping season 1.
Yeah.
And it became this device of introducing the ex-girlfriend and getting that red flag. So I think it'll just continue being used as a storytelling device and driving the story forward.
Yeah.
For me, it's not necessarily about that. That to me is not as interesting. Like I like it.
The pod.
Yeah.
But the pod isn't as interesting as
It's all
this
their
one,
personal
obviously.
lives. Yeah.
Yeah.
As us right now. Yeah, so true.
But I
always
like
say
what
that.
you were saying, Tina, about Morgan's career taking off. And
Yeah.
maybe if she is in this single girl era, if she is hanging out with Esther and Rebecca or whoever,
Yeah.
maybe that's allowing the pod to have more rich stories to unpack. And
perhaps a hot romance. Like we know you can be single and happy. Sure. Me too. But like it would be nice if like it was a rom-com and it was fun.
There,
I love it. Yes, we're all so fulfilled. But You can be, and there's stories where I want to see it. And
You
there's
are Morgan. Honestly, you are Morgan.
love her so much. But there's times when you want that, right? There's times when you want the How to Be Single rom-com and you want to see it in that way. I want Morgan to have a good time, a
Yeah.
sexy time. Let's give it to her.
Yeah, I want to see that. We've got enough,
We have the real world.
we have the real world to deal with. Give us some fantasy, please.
We'll do this to escape, guys.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
excited for season 3.
Yeah.
Writers,
And do
if
we
you're
think-
listening, give us a call.
Like Leighton Meester's had one episode. Do we think she's coming back, or is it like it was just
I
a
don't think
quick
so.
fun one?
My interpretation of it is that it was just a quick little guest star.
Yeah.
And the same with Seth Rogen. They were
Yeah,
just
just
sort
a
of,
fun one.
It was almost like they were doing a favor. And it's not that they were doing a favor, but it's like, this is fun. We're enjoying it.
Should we hang out at work?
And Seth Rogen
Yeah.
was actually friends with one of the other showrunners.
Yeah.
And that is the reason that he did it. He was like,
Why
I'll just
not?
do it for fun.
Yeah.
You know, it was more of
A vibe.
just to enjoy themselves
Yeah.
rather than it being a long-term
Sweet.
Final question before we wrap up. Who could be a fun guest star in season 3?
Ooh.
Going on like the fanfic of it all.
Mm.
Anyone, I think you said someone from One Tree Hill should join the cast.
Well, I just think for the Gossip Girl, Gilmore Girl, the OC of it all.
Yeah, who would
It'd be
bring
nice
in?
to get another person in there. I mean, the obvious Chad Michael Murray is bugging me, but he is involved with Netflix
no.
heavily. I would maybe say one of the gals, like a Hilary Burton. Could she play somebody? Or maybe it's not even One Tree Hill. I'd kind
Blake
of.
Lively.
What's she up to?
What's she doing?
I don't know. I haven't heard from her lately.
She's been quiet.
She's been really quiet.
I would want someone like maybe like Gen Z and fun for some random role.
Okay.
Like I mean, is Iowa Debra even Gen Z? Are we all millennials? I don't know. But like I would love someone like, I mean, she's probably not going to do a small cameo role, but I would love someone like a Rachel Sonora, or like like one of the girls maybe.
I would actually love to see some more unknown talent. I know that sounds really boring, but I
Fair.
haven't seen Justine Lupe in that much before, and I've really
Yeah.
enjoyed seeing
Yeah.
her in this role. I haven't seen Jackie Tone in this, and I
Yeah,
love her.
she's great.
To me, those two are so strong. They clearly know how to find
Yeah.
great talent.
We just unearthed some new talent. Maybe that's it. Who would you want to see make a cameo?
I think I want someone from the fanfic world. I was going to say,
Who are you gonna say?
Chad Michael Murray, just for fun.
He's
I don't
still
know.
a diva. We love him a lot. He's just got his bob and he keeps doing those like tacky Christmas movies. So like I've now filed him into that part.
Yeah.
But he can still act. He was funny in Freakier Friday. So maybe we bring him
Maybe
in.
this is his comeback.
This is his
just like
moment
Adam
to
Brody.
shine.
Not that he ever anyway.
He's come back. He's like, I'm fine actually.
Well, writers, if you're listening, give us a call. We've got some ideas on where you can take season 3.